Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got our D-Reaper playmat, we got our Morphomon potato helping us out, and they're helping us out because I couldn't find anyone really that fit with this video, and they don't get to come out very often, so I figured it's their turn. What is the topic of today's video? I finally built a Morphomon deck. What changed? Because the reason why I wasn't making it is because the promos would cost like $45 to build this deck. And what did change was that I went to a convention recently, and during that convention, I saw that they had a one-piece card game demo, and you had to sign up for it. Like, that thing filled up super fast, and I didn't realize that that's how it worked until like the second day of the convention. So luckily, the final day of the convention, I got to their booth bright and early, signed up, and then came back and played. And for doing this demo, you got a promo card. And if you completed a survey, you got a second promo card. And the second promo card was the 2024 One Piece Luffy convention exclusive. And after playing the demo, I was like, I have very little interest in this game. It's got a similar life system to Digimon. The memory system, kind of wonky in that one, where you get to like take cards out and then you get to be put under stuff, and then they stay there until your next turn when you pull them back out and they go back to your resources, and they can be readied or tapped. There's a lot, and it just didn't feel quite what I wanted. I went into the demo knowing that I probably wasn't going to be interested in that game, but I figured I'd give it a shot anyways. But so I got that convention Luffy, looked it up online. It goes for about $60 at the time that I had it. And so I went to a card shop that I go to that I know has Digimon singles. And I was like, hey, I've got this card. I was wondering if I could get some store credit for it. And I showed them like it was the 2024 convention exclusive. They were totally happy to take it off my hands because they have a lot of One Piece players over there. And they gave me $45 worth of store credit, which was enough to get the 4 copies of Morphomon they had in their binder. So, like I said, I won't pay $40 to build a deck, especially not $10 a piece for some rookies. But because I had that card, this deck went from $45 to build to nothing. It took an hour of my time, but I was able to afford the deck that way. So yeah, if you guys go to conventions, they have tournaments, or they have learn to plays, like enter them. That you might get a card. They'll help you build decks or things like that, like, and help support the community. Because I could have been one of those guys that could have taken that card, held on to it. I'm sure it would have appreciated in value. But I figured someone else would enjoy it much more than me. With that little tangent out of the way, let's take a look at the Morphomon deck that I built. It's not perfect by any standard. There's a lot of things that I think could be improved upon it, but I just don't think the cards are there at the moment. Maybe we'll get some more support at some point, because the first support we got for Morphomon was in BT6, and the latest was in like BT17. And there was like, I think, what was it? It was BT6, then BT16, and then we got like 1 or 2 cards in BT17. So it's been a while. Maybe they'll do another round of support for it. Who knows? But starting us off with the eggs, we got 1 copy of Argomon from BT2. His inherited effect is your turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your unsuspend phase, gain 1 memory. Getting memory, it's important. I don't think it was as important as the other Digi-Egg we got, which is 4 copies of the BT7 Koromon, which is when attacking, reveal the top card of your deck and place it on top or bottom of your deck. So this gives us a little kind of like idea of what's coming next, and if we need it, we can keep it on top. If not, we can throw it on bottom. It only activates when attacking. I'm guessing each of these we're only going to get off like once, maybe twice before they get eaten up by security. There was a different Digi-Egg that almost made it in there because I had misread it the first time, which is an important thing to like read your cards, because I thought it said, what was it? When an opponent's Digimon suspends, draw one card. And I was like, great, that's perfect. That means that when they attack, I'll get to draw some cards. On your turn, if your opponent's Digimon suspends, you draw one card. And that was once per turn. So that I'm like, oh, there we go. So instead of activating on the opponent's turn just from them attacking, we had to suspend their Digimon, which there's not really a way to do that in this deck, so had to take it out. Because the problem with this deck is it's majorly white with some green splash in there, and that is a hard deck to build, I think. Going on to our rookies, we got 2 copies of the Ukemon. One of them we pulled from Billion Bullet. 3 play costs, 1 Digivolution costs, 2000 DP, can Digivolve from any color, is mono white. Your turn, once per turn, when any of your Digimon move from the breeding area to the battle area, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card or 1 Tamer card among them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Then you may hatch in your breeding area. So this allows us to speed up our deck, because when we move from there, if this one's out in the playfield, it'll get to activate, and we'll get to pick some cards, choose one, put the rest at the bottom, hatch, and then place down something on top of it, hopefully, to get some more draw power. Again, super good Ukemon. Someone commented that in the comments of one of the Billion Bullets, and I have to agree after rereading it. Our next rookie, 4 copies of the BT-17 Morphomon. 3 play costs, 0 Digivolution cost, 1000 DP. Your turn, when this Digimon Digivolves into Esomon, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Inherit effect, your turn, once per turn. When another Esomon is played, this Digimon may Digivolve into Esomon in your hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3. So, yeah, just good Esomon support for it, allowing it to Digivolve a little faster. Not sure how often that'll happen in this deck. You'll see that in a moment. But definitely a good addition. The final rookie we've got, which is the one that kind of stopped me from building this deck for a while, is the Morphomon promo. 3 play costs, 0 Digivolution cost, 1000 DP. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Esomon and 1 Manoa Bellucci among them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Then, by placing this Digimon as one of your Esomon's bottom Digivolution cards, you may play 1 Manoa Bellucci from your hand without paying the cost. Inherit effect, your turn, once per turn. When another Esomon is played, this Digimon may Digivolve into 1 Esomon in your hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 3. So yeah, super good, because you're playing it out, and it doesn't have to Digivolve into anything, because you can immediately put it underneath one of your Esomons. So it gets this ability. And so it's going to help speed things up, which is very good, because you can start from a champion, go into it, and that'll work all right. Speaking of champions, we've only got 1 champion in this deck, because unfortunately I just could not find anything else really worth it. We got 4 copies of the BT-17 Esomon. 4 play costs, no Digivolution cost, 4000 DP. Can Digivolve from Morphomon for a cost of 2. When Digivolving, if it's your turn, you may play 1 white Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less, or 1 level 5 or lower Esomon from your hand for the play cost of 2. If this effect played, your opponent may play 1 Tamer card from their hand without paying the cost. Inherit effect, opponent's turn, once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch a target of the attack to one of your Esomon. So yeah, this is going to allow us to keep our Esomons out on the field. This top ability, it's not great. I mean, kind of shows you how the older sets worked, where this one was like, you get something, but your opponent gets something too, which has completely changed. The other Esomon didn't make it in because that one pretty much said the same thing, where it's like, oh, you get to play a white Tamer, and then if you did, your opponent gets to play a Tamer from their hand for free, which that's giving them a little too much. Though there are a lot of Tamers in here, so after playing with this deck a bit, I might change that, because I don't know of many other decks that are going to play as many Tamers as this one, so it might work out. But going on to our ultimates, and we are starting off with Esomon, of course, but we got 8 copies of the BT6 Esomon. And If you know anything, like, that should be illegal, but we'll get into that in just a moment. He is a 5 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 6,000 DP. Can Digivolve from white or green, is mono white. And his ability is you can include up to 50 copies of cards with this card's card number in your deck. When attacking, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Esomon from your hand without paying the cost. Inherited effect, your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1,000 DP. So yeah, we could have built a deck only of these guys. That could have been it. We could have built just a deck with this, the end. We could show up to a tournament with 50 of this guy in a deck, and it would be legal. Would it be great? No. But we could have done it. But yeah, this guy's got a great ability where when he attacks, you can play another Esomon, so you don't really have to worry about things, because he's out on the field, he attacks, oh no, he gets deleted, but you just pull another copy out from your hand and play that one in his place. So that's why we got 8 of them in there. Very good way to keep some board presence on the fields. And then our last ultimate is the BT-17 Esomon. Surprise, surprise. 6 play cost, no Digivolution cost, 6,000 DP. Can Digivolve from a level 4 Esomon for a cost of 3. On player, when Digivolving, your opponent may play 1 Tamer card from their hand without paying the cost. If this effect didn't place, you may play 1 white Tamer card with a play cost of 4 or less from your hand without paying the cost. Then, Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon for every 2 Tamers. Inherited effect, opponent's turn, once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may switch the target attack to one of your Esomon. So again, we got that ability to keep some other Esomon out there. This top ability doesn't seem great because you're letting your opponent play Tamer, but if they didn't, you get to play Tamer. And that's bad, like letting your opponent play Tamer. However, to Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon for every 2 Tamers, it's not every 2 of your Tamers, it's just every 2 Tamers. So if your opponent's got 2 and you've got 2, that lets you Digivolve 1 twice. So that could help you out in that aspect, which is why I kind of made it in there. Again, this deck has a lot of things about, or this archetype has a lot of things about playing Tamers, and I had to figure out which ones were really good versus which ones were not great, and I had to make some choices. So next up, we got our Megas, and we are starting off with 2 copies of the BT6 Esomon. 13 play cost, 5 Digivolution cost, 13,000 DP. Can Digivolve from white or green, is mono white. When Digivolving, for each Tamer in play, you may place 1 level 5 or lower Esomon from your trash at the top of the Digimon's Digivolution cards in any order. If you place 2 or more cards with this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Your turn. For every 3 Digivolution cards this Digimon has, it gains security attack +1. So yeah, that's really why we could only splash into green just a bit, and we have really kept Esomons and Morphomons in this deck because the big bosses like them, and if we put enough underneath them, we'll get to delete an opponent's Digimon, and then we'll get security attack +1 for every 3 Digivolution cards, which that's a lot nowadays. Like, I think it would be like every 2 maybe, but then you get some really weird stuff. I'd like to see them redo Esomon again so that we could see some better support and such. And our last Mega is the BT-17 Esomon. There was a BT-7 Esomon. I got that, but whoops. But that one didn't make it in. It's just an uncommon, and it's not nearly as good as these. It is a 12 play cost, no Digivolution cost, 12,000 DP. Can Digivolve from a level 5 Esomon for a cost of 4. When Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, you may play 1 level 5 or lower Esomon from your hand without paying the cost. All turns, once per turn, when one of your other Esomons is played, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as that Digimon. Your turn, for each Tamer, all of your Esomon get plus 1,000 DP. So again, something that I kind of didn't understand initially is, I thought this was for each of your Tamers, but it's not. It just says, for each Tamer, all of your SOMon get plus 1000 DP. So for all of your tamers and for all of your opponent's tamers, these guys are going to get plus 1000. And so that's why, again, this deck is going to be kind of tamer heavy, as we're hoping to get at least probably like 6 of them out, somewhere around there. And hopefully with our attacking and being able to play new SOMons, that'll keep us on the board state to have it and keep us alive long enough. But again, this deck is kind of lacking in some places. Going on to our option cards, starting off, we've got 2 copies of Genai's House from the starter deck 21. 2 play cost. While you have no face-up Genai House security cards, you can ignore this card's color requirements. Security all turns, all of your level 3 or higher Digimon get plus 3000 DP. Main, add the bottom security card to the hand, then place this card face-up as your bottom security card. Security effect, you may play 1 level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. So yeah, this one, it's great. Like, it came from the adventure, but it's not really adventure support. It's anything support. So you can play this out, put it as the bottom security, gives all of your Digimon during your turn plus 3000 DP. So it's going to help our 6000 SOMons up to 9000. Hopefully they'll be able to survive a little better that way, which is why I put these in here, because it's going to take a while to get up to that mega, I feel. Next up, we've got 2 copies of Emergency Program Shutdown. This is probably the weakest card in the deck. I could probably take it out, put something else in, either more Digimon or a different option card. But I put this one in because it is a 3 cost main. Your opponent cannot use option cards until the end of their next turn. Security, your opponent can't use option cards this turn, then add this card to its owner's hand. So this is going to kind of shut down a part of their deck so that they won't be able to use any option cards. Which, when we get to the tamers that we've got in here, you'll see why that could be so dangerous. Our next option card is Digital Gate Open, a 4 play cost. This is a promo, by the way. You can ignore this card's color requirements, which we don't have to. We've built a basic white deck, so we can use this card. Main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card and 1 Tamer card among them to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck, then place this card in the battle area. Main delay, you may play 1 Tamer card with the same color as any of your Digimon on the field from your hand with the play cost reduced by 4. Security effect, security, you may play 1 Digimon card with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then add this card to the hand. So yeah, this was going to allow us to search for Tamer, put it in our hand, and then the next turn play it out basically for free. This is a 4 play cost, so we'll be paying a turn ahead to play that Tamer. We'll be losing a memory if we play one of the 3 costs, but I thought this one was well worth the ad. Our final option card is Cutting Edge from BT6. 6 play cost. Main, you may play 1 level 5 or lower SMon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to the Digimon played with this effect. So that's kind of why we got that Genai's House, which boosts them up a bit. So maybe they'll go up to 9,000. If we got our big SOMon out already on the field, that's going to boost it up quite a bit. Which is, again, why we put them in there. And I just realized that we put the option cards before the Tamer cards, but oh well, we're here now. So we're going to deal with that. Going on to the Tamers, we're starting off with 2 copies of Izzy and Mimi from BT5. Again, just splashing in a little green into this deck. There are 4 play costs at the start of your turn. If your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. Your turn, when you attack with a level 5 green Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. You may Digivolve 1 green level 6 Digimon card among them into the attacking Digimon without paying the memory cost. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Security, play this card without paying the cost. So yeah, we're not worried about any of this thing. We're only worried about start of your turn. If your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. That's it. That's all we care about this card. Because again, there's not a lot of good cards for this. Like, I chose this one because I'm like, this works. I suppose I could have swapped it out for any color tamer. Especially because we're only using white option cards. So I might go back and look and see what we could swap this one out for. But I really wanted something where it was a very easy situation to just give us 2 extra income. Our next tamer is the BT6 Manola Bellucci, which she has a lot of text. She's a 4 play cost. Start of your turn, if you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. Your turn, when you play an Esomon, you may suspend this tamer to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 tamer card or 1 Digimon card with Esomon in its name among them to the hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Opponent's turn. While you have an Esomon in play, your opponent's tamers don't unsuspend during their unsuspend phase. Security, play this card without paying the memory cost. So yeah. So this one goes with our emergency program shutdown, where together, like, your opponent's not going to be able to unsuspend their tamers, and they won't be able to play their option cards, which means they're going to just have their Digimon. So that's going to kind of lock them out of some of the cards, which can be super terrible for them. But I don't think for this deck it's going to be horrible, because this deck is a little underpowered in some ways. But in locals, I could feel that being like kind of annoying. Our next tamer that we got is the Digimon Emperor from BT8. He's a 3 play cost. All turns, when one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1 card. Opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon is moved from their breeding area to the battle area, gain 2 memory. Security, play this card without paying the cost. So this one does a lot of stuff that I do like for the deck. So if we delete our opponent's Digimon, then we get to draw a card, which is something this deck is, I feel, going to lack in. And then it's going to slow them down again, because they're not going to be able to move up their level 3 Digimon without giving us memory. Our final tamer is the BT17 Manola Bellucci with 4 copies. She is a 3 play cost. On play, by trashing 1 Morphomon or Esomon in your hand, draw 2 cards. All turns, while you have an Esomon, none of your opponent's tamer on play effects activate. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when one of your Esomons would leave the battle area by an opponent's effect, by deleting one of your other Esomons, prevent it from leaving. Security, play this card without paying the cost. So yeah, this one, again, is just shutting down another thing of your opponent's deck. So the first one doesn't allow them to suspend. This one doesn't allow them their on-play effects to activate. So that's what I'm kind of hoping, is that we're going to stop our opponents from doing a lot and being able to play. It sounds terrible, play the game as intended, because they won't be able to use option cards for 2 turns out of the game. Their tamers won't be able to unsuspend, so once they suspend them, they're dead. So I'm kind of hoping that would give us the edge again. Getting the level 6 Esomon out is going to be really good, because for all these tamers, we've got 10 tamers in the deck. If we somehow manage to get them all out, I'm not saying we're going to, but if we did, then all Esomons would get 10,000 DP. And if we managed to get 2 copies, that'd be 20,000. Again, that's not going to happen, but if it did, great. And that counts for our tamers and our opponents. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. I'm hoping this gets some more support in the future so I can mess with it a bit more. Again, it was very hard because it's primarily white. It's got some green splash in there. Again, I might swap out that Izzy and Mimi tamer for something else. But yeah, that's kind of what I went with and what I could do. Before we leave, as always, we like to open up some cards. I've got a special release memorial pack, which we're probably going to open up 2 because I believe we've seen most of these. And I don't want to like open up one and be like, oh, we've seen that one before, and then just leave it. So let's see. We have in this one DNA Digivolution Hearts United. 0 cost. Main, if you have a Davis and Ken in play, you may play one XVmon and one Stingmon from your hand at the bottom of your deck in any order to play one Pyldramon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Okay, you may place. Got it, from your hand. Okay, so security, add this card to your hand. I don't think this one's going to make it into any decks. I mean, it's interesting, but I just don't see it really working. And let's open up one more, just to... Because again, I bought a lot of these, and let's take a look at 2 of them at a time. Why not? I bought these. We can do what we want with them. All right, and the other one is A New World. 0 play cost. Main, if you have a Mimi in play, you may play one Palmon from your hand without paying its memory cost. To return one of your Mimi cards to its owner's hand. Security, add this card to your hand. What? Oh, if you have a Mimi, you can play a Palmon in your hand without paying the memory cost. Then you can return a Mimi to its owner's hand. Okay. Alright, for a second I thought it was like, you can return a Mimi to return a Palmon. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But so you return a Mimi to play a Palmon, then return one of your Mimi cards to your hand. Again, this one I don't see being very good unless your Mimi has like an on-play effect that's like super great. But with that, we finished looking at the Morphomon deck. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What changes would you make to that deck? Again, it was super hard to like choose some stuff in it. The eggs, the option cards, the champions, because like there's really only one. I'm hoping it gets more support later so that I can tweak it some more and make it a little more viable, but not holding out hope for that. But yeah, let me know what things you would change about the deck down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a good old thumbs up, hit that like button. If you haven't, please do subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. The algorithm loves it. As always, we upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And as always, until then, I will see you next time.